An AEW champion is taking some time off. Plus, we have the backstage reaction to WWE Evolution and a rumor killer on Seth Rollins cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. Bouncing off the back of a huge weekend of wrestling, including the longest pay-per-view in wrestling history, AEW All In.
And apparently a champion's going to go missing for a little bit, according to the old Fightful Select.
Yeah, so Samoa Joe, along with his boys, the Ops, retained the trios titles against the Death Riders and Gabe Kidd in Texas. Fightful reporting that Joe was scheduled to miss some time after All In. He's set to do some promotion for the upcoming season of Twisted Metal. Haven't heard a specific amount of time that he's supposed to miss, outside of it being at least a couple of weeks. See, it's one of those situations where if you knew he was stepping away, normally with a champion, you go, you take the belt off them or do something. But it's a trios title. They're rarely on telly anyway.
And you can have Hobbs and Shibata to fill the role. I know Joe's the leader of the old Ups. But yeah, it's an interesting one as well, because obviously all thoughts are now, like, what is next for AEW? Because we've been building to this moment with Hangman Page especially. Joe has been heavily involved in that storyline as well. And you've got Darby coming back. You've got, obviously, the lads who helped Hangman at the weekend as well. But, Samoa Joe not being there feels like a little bit might be missing there. So I'm intrigued to see what is next for AEW.
Yeah, I feel that this is the start of a new chapter for AEW. That was certainly how it was presented by the end of the night. This is the start of something new for AEW, moving away from that Death Rider story, thank goodness!
Yes.
And on to some really good stuff with Hangman Page, possibly with Swerve and what have you, because it feels like Swerve is going to be near the front of people who are going to come for his title.
And Ospreay as well.
And Ospreay, yeah, but there's some good stuff in there. But Samoa Joe, at least for a little bit, not factored into it. Evolution took place over the weekend as well, Sunday night. The behind-the-scenes reaction to WWE's second ever women's PLE was nothing but positive.
Yeah, Fightful Select calling the show a home run according to sources behind the scenes in WWE, and talent over-delivered in their matches, which to me wouldn't seem too hard because the company clearly didn't give a hoot about the show until like a day before the thing actually happened.
Yeah.
So the fact they turned up would be over-delivering, but the fact we saw one of the shows of the year is over-delivering to the 10th degree.
Yeah. I mean, Fightful even reflect that, saying some we spoke to said they wish they could have got more of a build, but found the challenge of filling the gaps on social media to be fun. We're told that everyone backstage seemed to really enjoy the evening. It was 7 years in the making. It was 2 weeks in the booking.
Yeah.
Which is, again, if we do this again, maybe a little bit longer to book it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ain't a booker.
I guess all the attention's on the optics of the show coming out, like in terms of like how many people were there, what were the viewership figures, because it feels like it was set up to fail, as we mentioned in the news a couple of weeks ago, just because of things going on around the area. Obviously, the big weekend of wrestling that was pitched up against as well. So it feels like, despite all the odds, all the lasses involved to produce one of the shows of the year.
And the crowd were incredible for it as well. Big love to the crowd in Atlanta. You were magnificent, just loud from the very beginning. There was so much energy in that room. It was a really fun show to watch, start to finish. Bailey was glowing about it on Twitter. She said, I cannot explain the feeling in the arena last night, but it was reminiscent of the early NXT days for me. Some kind of magic and so full of love. Thank you to every person that showed up in support, and thank you all for watching. Oh, so much love coming out of the weekend.
Yeah.
Like loads of love for what AEW did with All In Texas. Some massive moments throughout that one, and a big finish as well for it as well. Lots of love coming out of Evolution. Lots of love for Goldberg as he signed off on his career. Admittedly, he got cut off.
And also NXT was there as well.
And NXT happened as well. NXT also happened. Speaking of NXT, WWE's NXT friends, TNA, we're going to get a little crossover with them for Bloodsport, aren't we?
Natalya versus Masha Slamovich at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport is going to happen over SummerSlam weekend. Barnett himself was on Twitter saying, if you both are so willing to fight, then I've got the perfect place for it. It's in me little ring with no ropes. Let's see who gets first blood on August the 2nd.
Oh, ever so nice. Yeah, so there's been a little bit of tete-a-tete with Masha Slamovich and Natalya online, and it has built to this. And if Natalya turns up, I think Masha Slamovich is winning. If Natty Neidhart turns up, I think Masha's got a problem on her hands.
Yeah.
Natty Neidhart is... I want to separate the two. Because you got Natalya, who is like a legacy character in the scene in women's wrestling. Obviously, it will always be a part of it. Not one for picking up a win, but certainly a part of the scene. Natty Neidhart... she does things to me.
She would see you eating a plate of chips and steal all but one. She would leave you one just to laugh at you. Yeah.
I'd let her.
Would you?
And then she could full on punch me in the face, and I'd be, into that. I just, there's nothing. Son of a Natty Nighter! I'm just saying. Natalia was always one of my favourites, but now she's Natty Nighter. Or she's like, shut up, I'm going to break your nose. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, Queen.
Is that it? Mammy energy.
Yeah, a little bit of Mammy energy. Yeah, maybe it says...
The second mother.
Oh, I've got too many mothers. Maybe that says more about me than anything else. Seth Rollins in the news over the weekend, obviously suffering an injury at Saturday night's main event. Paul Heyman addressed this on Raw, saying that he's got till June to cash it in. So, as far as that goes, until we get closer to June, his health is not part of the conversation. However, there was some speculation that he'd be doing something at Saturday night's main event, wasn't there?
But it was never going to be cashing in that little briefcase that Paul Heyman carries around, because Peter Insider is saying, for those who asked, there was no plan for Seth Rollins to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase on either Gunter or Bill Goldberg last night. The only change to last night's plans for Saturday night's main event was that Rollins was originally slated to defeat LA Knight. I think we all expect that, didn't we? But the injury changed those plans on the fly. Goldberg was always slated to lose his retirement match to Gunter.
Yeah, PW Insider also add that Rollins doesn't change, the Rollins situation doesn't change anything going forward, because he wasn't factored into any storylines with Gunter, at least. So, in terms of the injury, there's never a good time to be injured, but there was certainly nothing, according to PW Insider, on the upcoming that was going to affect any issues with Seth Rollins being out.
Because you would assume, coming off the back of another win against LA Knight, that maybe Seth Rollins would have been Gunter's next challenger for SummerSlam.
It would have made sense to have put him in the mix for that, but they announced that gauntlet match. Am I right in thinking they announced that gauntlet match before Rollins got hurt?
I don't know. I saw it after Rollins got hurt, but my weekend's been all over the shop, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's been a lot happening all over the place, to be perfectly honest. So it feels like this was always going to be the plan. I think we mentioned it in our first video as well, that the idea of Seth Rollins playing spoiler to CM Punk is something that we will, I think, forever see coming around. So the idea that Rollins could cash... I think maybe the idea of Rollins cashing that in just before Punk wins... with his match at SummerSlam would have been quite a nice thing to have seen happen, but it depends on the injury status of Seth Rollins, and if it's a case of Rollins is going to be out for a little longer, then maybe he's the one that ends CM Punk's title reign rather than prevents it from happening, and then if it happens at all.
And then the world will burn down.
That'd be great. The entire world will burn it down. But yeah, so there was some conversations about Seth Rollins getting his music changed recently. One of the funniest comments I saw online was somebody saying, some people will go well out of their way to stop themselves getting a Def Rebel thing. I'm writing myself off. Do not give me a Def Rebel theme.
But hey, Fred Durst was there over the weekend, I saw, wasn't he?
Yeah.
My goodness me, Braun Breakers might actually be happening.
Do you know what? Yeah, because there was some conversation about Fred Durst doing the theme for Braun. I love that.
I was listening to Crack Addict in tribute recently. What a song that is. I'm addicted to crack. Careful now.
That's how rumours get started. He's not addicted, he's addicted to cracking skulls. That's it.
I heard what I heard, Tom.
Seeing Fred Durst front and centre, my favourite character in the SmackDown video game, was true WTF moment in its finest. And there's some more of those on the Patreon coming up.
Yes, Saturday's main event is now live. We have Evolution coming up tomorrow, and later today we have All In. It's all systems go, 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 go.
How long is the All In WTF moments?
It's a fairly long one. There's 8 hours of footage to pick through. I don't even know where I am. You think I was joking about the crack? I'm not.
He's still picking through it. I'm not. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.